Hi everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you the sum of n term of a GP. If a geometric progression is given as a, AR, AR raised by 2, AR raised by 3 to AR raised by n minus 1, then the geometric series will now be the addition of all the terms of the geometric progression, which is A plus AR plus AR is by 2 plus AR is by 3 plus AR is by n minus 1. Now, to find the sum of the terms of a GP, then we are going to do this. Now, the sum of the n term of a GP will now be A plus AR plus AR raised by 2 plus AR raised by 3 plus dot 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 AR raised by n minus 1. Let's tag this to be equation 1. Then we'll multiply R all through. So if we multiply R all through, we have R raised by R times the sum of n term of an AP will be equals to, and if since I've multiplied R to Sn, because we are multiplying R all through, so R times A will now have AR plus AR raised by 2 plus AR raised by 3 plus AR raised to the power of n. That is, if you multiply, you are going to get this, which is equation what? Let's say equation 2. So you subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So if you are subtracting equation 2 from equation 1, so we now have the Sn minus Rsn is now equal to, now if you subtract this, if this minus this will go, this minus this will go, this minus this will go. Are you getting it? So you are left with what? This minus, which is the second to the last term of this. That one will go. So you are left with A and this. So it's now going to be what? A minus AR raised by what? N. So at this point, you factorize. So if you factorize, Sn is common. So you have Sn, that is the sum of n term of GP, into 1 minus R is equal to, now A is common here, so we have A into 1 minus R raised by n. So at this point, since we're looking for the sum of the n term of an EP, we divide all through by what? 1 minus R. So if you are dividing all through by 1 minus R, so you have Sn is equal to A into 1 minus R raised by n, all over what? 1 minus R. Let's say this is equation what? Equation 3. Equation 3. So we can multiply minus 1 all through here. So we multiply minus 1, that is to the numerator and the denominator. We now have Sn to be A into Rn minus 1 over what? R minus 1. So here, your R has to be what? Greater than 1. Because this is equation what? Equation 4. So you can use this formula. This formula and also this formula to solve the sum of n term of a geometric progression. Here, you use it when your R is greater than 1. Then for this, you use it when R is less than what? 1. So let's solve this equation. So I will know the formula for calculating the sum of the n term of a GP. Now, let's solve the equation on the board. So to solve the equation on the board, you say find the sum of the first 6 terms of a GP. So here, to find the sum of the first system of a GP, we need to know the value. So here we have 90, 30, 10, 3 whole number 1 over 3, and lastly we have 1 whole number 1 over 9 as the what? As the GP. So from the terms here, or the sequence here, we have our A, that's the first term, to be 90. Then since we know the first term to be 90, then our common ratio will now be the second term divided by the what? By the first term, which is 30 divided by what? 90. So if you divide this, you have what? 1 over what? 3 as a common ratio. Now, I haven't known the answer. Now, here our R is 1 over 3, which is R is less than what? 1 over 3. So I'm going to use this formula. So since we are using this formula, then that is the sum of the AP now, and GP will now be our A. Our A is what? 90 into what? 1 minus our R is 1 over 3. Now, the number of terms, that is the first system, that is our N will be what? Will be 6. So our raised to the power of what? 6. All over 1 minus what? What is our R? Our R is given as 1 over what? Over 3. So by the time you simplify further, we now have the Sn is equal to 90 into 1 minus. Now 1 raised per 6 is still 1. 3 raised per 6 will be 729. So we now have 1 over 729 all over 1 minus 1 over 3. So at this point, we've simplified further. So we now have our 90 to be, now I can make this to be an equivalent fraction. So 1 will now be 729 over 729 minus what? 1 over what? 729 all over. Now we now have 3 over 3 minus 1 over what? Over 3. Therefore, we can simplify further. So at this point, if you subtract this, we now have 90 times what? 728, because if you subtract 1 from it, all over what? 729 all over 2 over 3. So at this point, you still simplify. So here, now, this is multiplying this. So you have 90 times 728 over what? 729 times what? Now, since this is the division sign, this 2 over 3 will be inverted because of this division sign. So we will now have 3 over what? 2. So at this point, if you use your calculator to multiply, then you have 134 whole number. 134 whole number 22 over 27 is the final answer. So if you find this video helpful, please just subscribe to the bottom.